It was fine. I mean, we've been going for a while here, so we just tried to build off what we were doing, try to knock some of the rust off since we did mostly conditioning last week, and then um, we'll start adding things later on this week and early next week as we get into the swing of things. Yeah, we just there's a lot of intricacies with the way we play defense. If one guy's not doing what he's supposed to do, it throws everything off, and we get behind the play. And so, we've got to make sure everybody's working as a unit, working as one, making sure that everybody's where they're supposed everybody's where they're supposed to be. As you saw, we did a lot of stuff 4-on-4 this morning. That's a lot harder on the defense, 4-on-4. So we want to make it more difficult early on. Then we'll add the fifth as we get going. But we've got to get better with paying attention to detail. Everybody being in sync, being where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. Good. I mean, we've got a lot of options. We've got 6 guys that are 6'6" to 6'9". So we have a lot of guys that can play multiple positions. They've got to learn the multiple positions, but we've got a lot of guys that can play the 3 through the 5 fours, so to speak. And I think they've been doing a solid job. We're waiting for who's going to emerge from that group. We've had a couple guys that have been really good and really, really consistent, but we've got to have some more than just a few. So we had a good weekend at the retreat, just talking about our identity, some of our goals, how we're going to be, talking about sacrificing for the team. And there's a lot of stuff we went through this weekend that I thought was good. Some of it's hopefully going to carry over to the year, but we're going to continue to do some team things to try to build that teamship, build that camaraderie as we continue to go through the preseason here and as we get into preseason practice. So we're going to be a work in progress for a while. It's not going to be a finished product immediately, but at the end of the day, with the league we're in, we've really got to be ready to go. January 1 when we start conference play, and as we get into Southland play. Now that doesn't mean we want to win every game. I'm not saying that, but we've got to look at this a little bit more, long term. There's, at some other places, there's multiple paths to the NCAA tournament. There's one path here. There's one path, and so we've got to be focused in on that one path and not do anything early that's gonna, set us back as we head down that path. So, yeah, we do need to do that, what you're talking about, but we do have some time. It's not like November 6th. It's got to be perfect. November 6th, we're going to learn a lot about ourselves. We'll kind of see where we are in a hostile environment, a tough environment, maybe the toughest environment we'll play in all season. We'll get an idea on that right off the bat. But good, bad, or ugly, we can figure things out from there and move forward. And we've still got some time. Yeah, look, that's the price of admission, man. If you're not going to work hard, I tell them all the time, I don't treat everybody equally. I treat them equitably. So if you want to build equity with me, you better work. And your playing time, your success is going to be directly tied to how hard you work. If I treated everybody equally, Jim, you'd shoot 10 threes a game, and Robert Berze would shoot 10 threes a game. If I treat everybody equitably, Berze is going to shoot 10 threes a game. You're going to shoot 1 3 a game. And so,
I think you're underestimating me.
That may be. Maybe you get 2, but you get the point. So, in order to build that equity, you've got to work hard, and our guys understand that. I've been very clear on that from day one, and those guys do a good job. And my assistants do a really good job of getting in there with them and making sure that we're getting shots and doing things from the spots on the floor where we need to be. We've got options. We've got 4 guys, that we've got some options with, maybe a 5th, who's a little bit of maybe a different point guard, but we've got good options. We got a freshman, Tijon Brown, very, very good defensive player. His shooting's getting better. Omar Cooper, junior college transfer, really, really good defensive player. Knows who he is on offense, keeps the ball moving. Mike Saunders, transferred from Utah. We're still in the waiver process with him, so we don't know exactly how that's going to turn out with the waiver, but he shoots it, he can guard, he can get in the paint, he can get downhill. There's a lot of things he brings to the table, and then Shahade Wells can play the point, can play the two. He can play a little bit of everywhere. We've played him more off the ball right now, but certainly if Saunders doesn't get his waiver, then we'll have to look at moving him a little bit more on the ball. Um, but I do feel comfortable with Brown and Cooper. I think those guys can certainly help us and make things happen for us from the point guard spot as well. Well, I mean, look, they've all been very open and very engaged with what we're doing. I think they've been locked into trying to do things the way we want them done. I tell them all the time, when you come here, you become us. We don't become you. So you're going to do what we want to do. Whatever you did at your last place, that's what happened at your last place. That makes zero difference to what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. And so I think they've done a good job of understanding that and saying, hey, look, this is the way it's going to be. We're either going to get on board or it's going to be rough sledding. So I like that. I think, look, nature of college basketball, everybody's going to have major roster turnover. Everybody in our league has major roster turnover. There's no excuses. There's no everybody's dealing with the same thing. So it's a race to see who can grow the fastest with the roster turnover, and that's a race that we've got to win. But I think we've made strides. I think we'll continue to make strides. It's certainly something that's front of mind with me as we continue to build here through the preseason.